Can we get a drum roll? I feel like this.
Oh, okay.
Let's play up to the mystique of my opinion. Okay.
That was the wrong drum roll.
Listen, I'm not Jay. Mark Crombo Weebs. My name is Cole. His name is Mike. His name is Jay. We like anime, and this is episode 87. Yeah, it is. The Anime Protagonist Podcast. And on this week's episode, we are reviewing the anime formerly known as Oddtaxi.
What happened to it?
It's formally known as that. It's known as Oddtaxi.
Oh, like in formal settings, not like
exactly.
previously.
Yeah.
Okay,
its friends call it something else, but we're not there yet. I'm having a bad hair day, so I put a hat on today. I hope nobody notices.
If you're not watching the YouTube video, this is like Bizarro Cole has joined us today. I've known Cole for a long time, and the hair down is just like bizarre. Oh, there's full Justin Bieber move. I like it.
No, I can't do it. I can't. It's literally in my eyes. Anyway.
Did you get a haircut?
No, I got a haircut recently. Listen, this is all.
Yeah, but it's in your eyes.
I'm due for a haircut too.
I'm due.
Listen, it's called fashion, gentlemen.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
What's that?
Anyway, Jay, what's on your mind?
Oh God. Well, crap.
Whoa! Watch your profanities.
Who could have seen this question coming? Right.
No, I honestly, I don't have anything prepared really.
I've been thinking that we need to figure out something for when the week's when, because I don't really have anything either this week on my mind, and I'm in trouble.
Yeah, my week has literally just been work and then sleep.
Yeah,
that's been my cycle, and honestly, it's just because I've been so busy with work.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're catching up, right? You just got back from holidays.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And now everyone else is on holidays, and you're filling in for them.
Yeah. Basically,
those dirty danglers.
Dirty Dan.
Dang dirty danglers.
Dang dirty danglers.
But yeah, no, aside from that, I just watched Oddtaxi, and that's really been my week.
Now, when did you watch Oddtaxi?
Oh, I know when you watched Oddtaxi. It was today.
I watched it yesterday, actually.
Oh, I was wrong. I was incorrect.
Yeah.
Did you finish it today, though?
I watched the last episode today.
Okay, and what about you, Cole?
I watched the last 4 episodes today. And the last 10 minutes of the movie.
Yes.
I did not watch.
Oh, yeah, I watched the last, 30 seconds of, the last little bit of the movie.
The little, the clip. And if you haven't, we'll talk about it in the second half.
Yeah, we're doing a whole review on this show.
Yeah. We're doing a whole review, so stay tuned. And stay tuned.
The winner of...
To hear what... Oh, I was just going to say stay tuned to hear what's on Mike's mind.
Well, you can't get out of that this easily.
This just in.
Cole's staying tuned. Oh. What's up, Cole?
Mike, what's on your mind?
Oh, what's on my mind? I just told Jay 2 minutes ago that nothing is on my mind. So I'm going to come up with something off the top of my head, off the old top of the dome here that we can just talk about for a bit. Think. What can I talk about with you? Oh, go ahead.
Did you guys read anything growing up? I know you didn't read books, Cole, but did you read comics or anything?
There was a portion of my life where I was obsessed with the Garfield comics. I collected them and stuff.
Yeah, you would be a Garfield guy, wouldn't you?
I don't know. Yeah. They were cool books. They were long and skinny.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I feel part of it too is what was that?
Nothing.
Oh, okay. I feel with the Garfield books too, because we grew up in rural area, I feel they were the choicest books in the school library, if that makes sense.
Well, and they were nice. They were good. Yeah.
Was Garfield the book that all the kids would flock to at your school library, or no?
No, it was weird.
I really, I thought people liked Garfield, and people liked I was weird too though. So maybe I was just off base here. I think the cool kids didn't flock to books for what it's worth.
Yeah.
The cool kids were doing sports.
They were playing hockey.
Yeah, hockey. hockey players are like the cool kids up here in Canada, which is probably another
Yeah,
incredibly
no, that's
Canadian
fair.
thing.
When I was in elementary, we had like a specific class devoted to like going to the school library, and like we were allowed to take out one book.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean,
And,
we
like,
had like a
we
library
had
class.
library class.
Yeah. Yeah,
Which is probably just like the
Um,
equivalent of like teacher's break time. And now that I think about it as
pretty
an
much.
adult,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
getting dinosaur books when I was.
did you do
when
I
was young.
Spy?
No, I didn't really like I Spy.
No?
No, it was too
Your
much.
eyes are too good.
I like
eh?
Too much work.
No.
I like the joke books. That was my
The
favorite.
joke books.
Yeah, we had joke books at our library, and I would go to that. Everyone would go to the Star Wars books,
Yeah,
but I was all
obviously.
about the joke books.
Yeah, for the nerds reading
yeah.
their Star Wars books. Jay's just learning comedy gold over there. Those imbeciles.
I mean, it was just knock
honing
knock
his
jokes for,
craft.
like,
yeah.
yeah.
I know what you talk. I used to read like, I think it was like Dad's Bathroom Reader or something it was
Mhm.
called, and it was just a bunch of like
Mhm.
silly little limericks and stuff. I was really kind of what Jay asked if there's any books I loved as a kid. For one, Harry Potter. Like, I feel like that's just because it came out when I was like in grade 2, I
Mhm.
think. That's when I first remember
Mhm.
it. And it like probably I can thank Harry Potter for my like reading abilities, because like I had read like, I think Goblet of Fire had come out by the point when I was in like grade 3 or 4 or something. And like I feel like I was at pretty advanced level by reading it at that age, because that's a pretty that's a thick bookum.
That's a big meaty book.
Yes. And also I really loved Calvin and Hobbes a lot when I was growing up too.
Never got into Calvin and Hobbes.
No, Calvin
Yeah,
and Hobbes
neither
is
did I.
like the better version of Garfield.
That's ridiculous.
I know,
That's
'cause they're not even
blasphemous.
related at all. They're just both comics. No, Calvin and Hobbes is great, honestly. Like that, it's just basically like this little boy who like his only friend is this like tiger who's like just a stuffed animal, but he just like goes on like imaginary little adventures with him and stuff. It's great. I don't know. It's wholesome. It's funny.
Mm-hmm.
And Calvin's just like a little like disturber of the peace at a young age, and he's honestly I could probably thank Calvin for like indoctrinating me into socialism a little bit, because he was like secretly a little bit of a communist or
He's a
something.
commie?
Yeah.
Calvin the Commie. That was the working title of it before they went with Calvin and Hobbes. Did you know that?
Yeah.
I did know that.
Yeah.
That's not true at all. I didn't know that.
I
not
looked it
true.
up. I just looked it up.
True.
I just looked it up.
No,
You can
it's
trust
fact.
me.
What about you,
Yeah.
Jay? What else did you read? Because we know Cole like literally is incapable of reading. We've gone over this many times.
Here's a fun fact about me. I was very good at reading when I was a kid, but I hated reading growing
Sorry.
up.
Really?
Sorry, I'm getting
Yeah.
a oh, okay. Yeah. Mike, you can go yourself.
Got me.
I think like the closest thing I ever got to actually reading something was when I was in like 7th grade. I read the Pokemon Adventures manga.
Oh, those used to be. Was it the Pokemon Adventures manga, or was it like the Pokemon like picture books?
Oh no, it was the manga.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's wild.
And I remember doing a book report on it with my teacher not knowing that it was a manga. I think it was a novel. And then we had a class where we could read the books that we were doing our book report on.
Yeah.
And she saw my book and she's like, "That's a graphic novel. You're not allowed to read that."
Why?
And this was like after she had already graded my thing. And so like I still got a good grade.
Teachers had wild just like power trips like that, where they'd just be like, "I'm
Yeah.
just deciding this arbitrary thing."
Yep.
And F you, that's why.
Yeah.
Well, the thing that baffles me is like I did a book report on it. I got a good grade. Clearly, there was something there that you understood was like on the same level as other novels. Yet because now you know there are pictures, it's suddenly bad.
Yeah, that was like in my like high school. I think it was like grade 10 or something like that. We had to do like a book report on something, and it was supposed to be like a literary work basically. And I had to like convince the English teacher at the time that I could do a Stephen King book, and then she like gave in, and I'm like, listen, like this book is like 800 pages.
It's literally a novel. Like it is a book. Stephen King is like the most accomplished writer ever
of our time, basically, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So I like stuff like that. It's like, what? Just in the end, they did give in, but like, yeah, why?
Yeah.
Don't just encourage people. There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah,
as
it's
long
like,
as there's
I mean,
good spirit behind it, I'd say.
I remember in one of my high school literary classes, we had to do a book report, but like we were given a list of books that we had to pick from, and none of them were interesting. Mm-hmm. And my question for that is like, how do you inspire kids to want to read if you're giving them books that they have to read instead of like telling them like, pick something you like?
To that end, though, there are some things that are like for example, I think there's benefit to like forcing someone to read 1984, or like they made us read what's the book about with Atticus Finch is in it. It's about racism.
Sure, but I think
To Kill a
like,
Mockingbird.
I think that like studying a book and asking a kid to do a book report on like that will have no repercussion in class is a completely different thing.
Mm-hmm. I think
at least to me, like.
I think the overall
point.
Go ahead. Yeah, I think the overall point that you're trying to make is, and maybe we shouldn't be getting too deep into the weeds, but hey, teachers, just like let kids do what they're passionate about.
Yeah, just and I mean, general. Like if you wanna put a gate on it, like at least be like, hey, before you read it, at least like show it to me, and I'll tell you if it's a good one.
Yeah, make me a pitch. Pitch it to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just be, you know what? That's just good advice in general, just to be like open-minded.
Yeah.
And when someone's passionate about something, there's usually a good reason for it, right? And
yeah, absolutely.
Like the three of us, we're passionate about making the best podcast in the world.
I know we're not doing a very good job.
We're not doing a very good job, but we're passionate.
But we're passionate about it. Yeah, and I mean, like, who knows? Maybe if you keep an open mind, that thing that you once said no to, maybe you'll end up liking it.
Yeah.
S-tier fruit. Yeah. Jay, go. What's an S-tier fruit?
Strawberries, which is, I mean, that's a berry, but like, yeah.
Strawberry, I'd say A tier, I think.
Strawberries.
I do love a strawberry, but there's just some, like, it's 50-50 with a strawberry, whether it's like completely flavorless or the best strawberry ever.
It's like a B tier fruit.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's too low.
That's a wild take.
I had.
It's just like for me with strawberries, like you can do so much with strawberries. It's not just like versatile. A flat strawberry.
Yeah,
it's so versatile.
Yeah,
like strawberry smoothie. Strawberry milkshake. Strawberry ice cream. Let's go.
That sounded disgusted. That was the wrong.
Yeah, I know. I was like, I shouldn't have done that.
That's the wrong one.
I shouldn't have done that.
You want to retake it? I'll put it in again.
Yeah. We'll edit
no,
restart from the top.
Strawberry milkshake? Strawberry smoothie?
Still sounded bad.
Yay! I don't know. Yummy.
Ice cream's so good.
Okay, what do you rank?
Ice cream is good.
What do you rank a banana, Jay?
F tier. I hate bananas.
Yeah, I feel like that's a popular take.
Yeah.
I had Cole and Cody bot over for a little get together yesterday, and we were discussing rankings of fruit. So this is probably why it's on our mind. Mm-hmm. And there was quite a lot of hate for bananas, actually. And I think bananas are fine.
I don't know. Like, Cody bot and Nug Deep, they both love bananas. They were like S tier, banana S tier. And I'm like, I don't know. It's like a D tier fruit.
I'd say B. B for banana is perfect.
Yeah,
There's nothing wrong with a banana.
It's so mushy. Like,
I like them a little green, actually. This is
a little firmer
by me. Yeah, a little firm. A little bit of green.
No, I can't stand for that. I don't even like banana flavoring though. So
banana flavoring is a mockery of banana.
Yeah, it's not real.
Yeah.
We talked about this in the Discord recently, actually, like things that do not taste. What was it? Birthday cake was the one that came out?
It was birthday cake flavoring, yeah.
But what does birthday cake taste like?
Birthday cake,
but it does vanilla cake with icing. I think.
Yeah,
it
basically
what does that
taste like a vanilla cake?
Basically vanilla.
Well, Michael, what is
with sprinkles?
Michael, what is an S tier fruit in your?
Honestly, your brother said this is an F tier fruit. Cody bot is a wild man, but mango is an S tier fruit for sure. The only problem, actually, maybe I talked myself out of it a little bit because it's messy as heck. Mm-hmm. It's hard to eat a mango.
Mm-hmm.
I've never had like a straight mango. I've had mango flavored stuff, which like is pretty decent. I'd say like if we're counting that,
it's probably the best flavor. But, like, yeah,
I've never had straight mango.
It's how do you describe a mango? It's like very smooth.
It tastes like a mango.
Very soft. No, I'm thinking the texture.
Yeah,
very slimy.
It's kind of slimy. Yeah, that's maybe a good way to describe it.
It's like eating a slug.
Yeah, I eat slugs often. Cole, what's an S tier fruit for you, my friend?
Oh, I mean, I got 2 S tier fruits for you guys. Okay, pineapple.
Okay.
Put a pineapple in your mouth and just let it sit there and dissolve your tongue into nothingness. Yeah. No, I love pineapples. And
pineapple's
kiwis.
great.
Love kiwi.
Kiwi
I'm not the biggest kiwi fan.
Kiwi.
I do like pineapple, but to me it seems more like a barbecue food than like a fruit that you'd like.
Grilled pineapple's pretty good.
You know what, Jay? I agree with you. Like pineapple, it has to be in the right setting for me to be down for the pineapple.
Like you put a pineapple on a grill with like other grilled stuff, and you have that like barbecue smoke, and it's just like, oh, that pineapple's good.
I like pineapple, like just the raw dog pineapple, a little better than grilled. But I like when I go for like, you know, when someone sets out the fruit tray in the middle of the table, like, what are you grabbing out of there? Because there's like cantaloupe, there's pineapple, there's probably strawberries.
Either strawberries or grapes, personally.
I'm not a grape guy.
Pineapple, easy.
But I'm gonna be honest though, vegetables are so much better than fruits.
Yes. Every day of the week, I'd rather go for the vegetable tray.
If there's a fruit tray and a veggie tray, I'm going for the carrots on the veggie tray.
Ooh,
every
carrots. I'm a snap pea guy, like the little peas where you just chew, you get them and just, they're so nice.
Listen, I'm weird about the veggie tray. I like celery.
Mm-hmm.
I do like celery too.
Good too.
I used to hate celery.
Celery's really good too.
Do you ever like throw like peanut butter or any kind of like condiments on your celery?
Cheese
Or
whiz.
you just straight cheese whiz? Oh, I'm not a cheese whiz guy.
I'm not really a cheese whiz guy either, but I've heard so much about cheese whiz on celery that I kind of want to try it.
I mean, it's worth a try once.
It's just
because like I've never had them together.
It's highly processed cheese on celery.
Yeah. I know.
You have to like the highly processed cheese flavor, I'd say, to enjoy it. And I don't really enjoy that flavor. I like it in again, like the pineapple. Like there's always a situation where I like it. Like a hamburger, I'm firmly, and I will go to my grave defending this take, the best cheese for a hamburger. If I'm getting a cheeseburger, I want a slice of American cheese, the fake stuff. I want it on there because it is the perfect cheese for a burger. It's nice and gooey and melty, but also like a real slice of cheese doesn't melt properly for a burger. It gets all like greasy and just firms up.
I like that it doesn't completely melt. I think that like ooey gooey cheese on a hamburger is just kind of not it.
You said ooey gooey cheese on a hamburger, and it made me want to go eat a ooey gooey cheesy hamburger.
Yeah, me too. Ooey
but
gooey.
Like ooey gooey cheese on a grilled cheese. Now we're talking.
Yeah, grilled cheese, S tier food.
Yeah,
S tier food. Wow. Am I right, Jay and Michael?
Oh yeah.
No.
Oh yeah.
Didn't I say this on the podcast before? My crazy take about grilled cheese.
I want you to bury yourself again.
Listen.
Cole likes mayo on his hot dogs.
Cole I wasn't gonna go there. I don't know, man. It's just a grilled cheese just doesn't do it for me. It's just greasy bread. It's like, no, fam, don't do it.
Delicious.
But I kind of the way I justify this is like any day of the week, I'd rather have like a nice crisp, like cold sandwich. You know what I mean? With like the cold cuts and the crisp, like cold water lettuce on there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like a nice BLT.
Yeah, and just a smushed, semi-burnt, cheesy piece of bread is good. But like when I'm thinking of a snack, it's just not enough for me, and it's not what I want. If that kind of does it for me, I don't like Reubens either. That's another crazy take of mine.
I don't like sauerkraut, so like I also
sauerkraut's okay. I like kimchi better. I had a kimchi Reuben once, and that was actually pretty good.
Cole's so upset.
Who are you people?
I don't know.
Reubens are delicious, top tier.
I have a very picky palate.
I know.
So. We know. And like the funny thing is like every time Jay's like, listen, I have a crazy take for you on food, and he'll say it and he'll be like, I think pepperoni's good on pizza.
Whoa.
And he'll be like,
see, to me, okay, about pepperoni on pizza, it's so bland that like it's just like it's just
inoffensive.
It's so it's like it's not really like anything wild. It's just like it's kind of there.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
And I feel like at this point it's kind of a placeholder topping.
I don't know. I like pepperoni on pizza. Like it gets crispy.
I'm not saying it's bad. It's just like I can't think of anything else to put on this pizza. Let's put some pepperoni on there.
Okay. I don't know if I agree with you because like I think a pepperoni, it's kind of like vanilla where it like is boring because it's like the default, but it's the default for a reason because it's the perfect.
Well, the
topping
default
for
is
pizza.
just plain cheese.
No, I don't like cheese pizza.
It
the
is,
same thing as grilled cheese.
Default.
It's too boring. It's too boring for me. Whereas like at least pepperoni, you get that little bit of like meat and a little bit of spice in there. Oh, okay.
I honestly prefer cheese pizza because it doesn't have that like spice without anything else to counteract it. Because like if you're having pepperoni on there, I feel like you need like some kind of veg or something.
But the cheese is counteracting the pepperoni.
The cheese counteracts the pepperoni, yeah.
Not really. Because it and I guess this depends on where you get it from, but like a lot of the time, it's just like the pepperoni's so overpowering that I can't even taste the cheese anymore.
You have a very sensitive palate, Jay.
You know what? I am one who loves spice and spicy foods, and I try not to spice shame because I know that like people have different tolerances.
It's not that it's spicy. It's just that like it's just a very powerful flavor.
I don't know. It is Pessy so spicy.
You just said it was bland like 2 minutes ago. Oh, Pessy is spicy.
Bland in the sense that like it's so it's kind of lame.
Oh,
like,
I see what you mean.
Just kind of lame.
Milk
like,
toast.
It's milk toast pizza. Yeah,
it's just super lame.
Here's my thing with pizza and beverage choice. You know, like as an adult, you're like pizza and beer, right? Delicious, right? Honestly, I'd rather have pizza and like cola. Like a big I'd rather glass of cola with my pizza. There's nothing goes better together.
No, I agree with that. It's the spiciness of the Pepsi really cuts down on the greasiness of the pizza.
I'm sorry, did you say Pepsi?
Yeah, the Pepsi is so spicy.
I thought you said. I've always pronounced it Pessy. Jay, how did you pronounce it?
Pepsi. Oh. I honestly, as long as I've known you, Cole, you've called it Pessy, and I don't understand
it's just
what the joke
Cole
is
has many things. That
like
just
it feels
don't
like
make
an
sense.
inside joke, and I don't know what it is.
Pessy's so spicy. Okay,
Cole just has inside
spicy.
Jokes.
Pessy so spicy like a hot lady. Okay, Pessy so spicy.
I feel like this is a meme Cole watched once and only he remembers.
Yeah,
somebody out there remembers this meme.
Comment or let us know in our Discord. Come to anipropod.com and come join our Discord and talk about spicy Pessy.
Just comment. I got it with no context.
Say I got it. Hashtag Pessy so spicy.
No. Don't provide any context because we're gonna forget. Yeah, so I'll find it funny that it's gonna be like I got it, and then we're not gonna understand what you understood.
You know what? Pessy is too long. You should abbreviate it just to like 2 letters. Use the letters P and P, and then so spicy.
PP so spicy.
Okay. PP so spicy. Okay.
Yeah.
How about just Pe so spicy?
Pe.
Cole, did you have something on your mind this week?
So we're saying that peso is spicy because peso is actually really good. Anyway,
what is
like Jay?
Like
I'm thinking of pesto.
The Mexican money?
Yeah, I'm thinking pesto.
Pesto? I love pesto.
Oh, pesto, yeah.
Yeah, pesto's really good.
Pesto on a pizza?
Anyway, Cole, what's on your mind?
That's good.
Yeah,
that's good stuff.
Yeah,
that's good stuff. What's on my mind? Michael asked. I've been playing a lot of guitar recently. I got this new piece of equipment over here. I would pick it up and show you, but it doesn't matter. It's a
Cole, play.
I'll show a picture in the Discord.
THR5. It's a little tiny modeling amp. It's sitting here on my computer desk. It's just a tiny little thing, and I got a little Bocher sitting on top of it.
You know what? I don't think it's that small. I think it's like an average size. I think it's maybe even big.
You're right. Some people would consider it adequate.
Big, yeah. But it's a nice little unit
it's good.
For you, though.
It hooks up to the computer. It's nice. And hey, it got me back into playing the old guitar, which is just back over here sitting precariously up against my Manga.
You actually inspired me to pick up my old guitar.
Which one were you playing?
Actually.
Which one?
I was playing that one.
The Les Paul?
The Les Paul, yeah.
Is it a Gibson Les Paul Gold Top?
That is a Gibson Les Paul. It's a weird guitar. I don't know if y'all want to get into it on the podcast. It's I'll explain to you later.
I don't know. Nothing beats a gold top.
It is a gold
Les
top
Paul.
though. Yes.
Nothing.
It's okay. I'll get into it. It's a Les Paul, like the cheapest Les Paul they make. I think it's called like the Les Paul.
It'd be like a studio, like a standard.
It's not a studio. It's something else. I forget what it was called. They only made it like for 1 year, and it is a Gibson. It plays great. It has like the 57 humbuckers in it and everything, but it didn't come with like any of the trim. Like it just came with like, it's like, here's a Gibson with nothing fancy on it.
Hey man, that's all you need.
I know. I added a pick board to it. I just need to change the tuners, and it's like only thing that doesn't have from a 57 gold top is like basically the what do you call it? The trim on the rim.
Yeah, there? the crowning or whatever.
Yeah. We're losing the people.
Yeah. Well, hold on. I have to listen to you guys talk about friggin' pepperoni on pizza. Yeah. No, here's the thing with guitars. My last thing before we move on to the mailbag. I like when I was a kid, this was my Fender Strat, and it's a made in Mexico Fender Strat. And I was so ashamed of it when I was growing up. I scraped off the made in Mexico part.
Did you really? I didn't know that.
But now, like it's out of all of the guitars I've played, it is like home. It's like coming home when I play this guitar. It's just perfect for me.
And for the listeners, the reason why Cole was ashamed is because there's basically 3 tiers of guitars. Yeah. There's made in China or somewhere in Asia. And then there's made in Mexico, which is kind of like a mid-tier, like the average working man can afford it easily. And then there's made in America, which are like the priciest of pricey. Right.
Yeah. So the American Strats are like, what people strive for. Yeah. But like this guitar, like it's been with me. I've replaced parts on it and everything. It plays better than any other guitar.
Yep.
In my opinion, for me. And it now, like, it's got that scar on the headstock where I scraped off the made in Mexico. Like it's
family, right?
Yeah.
It
tells a story.
Like, I know you and I have talked about this a little bit, where like with guitars, you seem to go through a lot of them, and then you kind of always a little bit regret when you sell them a little. You know what I mean? A little bit. Like one day you look back fondly and you're like, that was a good guitar.
I think that's a lot of things though, like things you enjoy, you just sell them and then you just kind of have that a bit regret.
Yeah, when you're a kid, you just go through stuff. You're like, whatever. I'm going to sell this one.
Especially when you're younger, like when you're a kid, you're not really making as much money as you are. So like you'll want to make the money. So you'll just scrounge together whatever you can find and then you'll sell stuff and then you'll be like, man, I wish I didn't have to sell this stuff.
I do still have my first guitar.
There you go.
Yeah, Ibanez RG321.
See, look, that's like actually like decent first guitar. My first guitar was like a $150 Epiphone Les Paul Special too. Yeah. And it was like borderline unplayable.
Yeah.
So like
I bought this, it was a used guitar. I bought it from one of the stores here in our fair city.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great guitar. Anyway, I can see the soul leaving Jay's body. I can literally see it and hear it.
I hate music, Garritian over there.
Yeah.
It's time for the mailbag.
And our first mailbag question is, what kind of guitars do you guys have? Oh, wow.
What a surprise. This one's sent in by Mike
and Cole.
Mole? Yeah.
Sorry, Jay, you were about to say something before I cut you off with my hilarious joke.
I was about to say, you said that I hate music and then immediately play music. I feel like I'm being bullied.
We know you don't hate music, Jay. We're just teasing you.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm well aware.
We're just giving you the gears a little bit. Thank you for putting up with our gear talk. I bought a new pedal today for everybody out there. Bought a new delay pedal.
Wow. Actually, that's crazy. You were telling me about my pedal that I bought for $40 like 10 years ago is somehow, because of a YouTube video, worth over $200 now.
Yeah.
It's crazy. That's
hilarious. Insane. Okay, let's get into the mailbag.
Mailbag. Does someone want to read the patron priority mailbag?
I will. Wee woo. Patron priority mailbag. Peach with Love asked on July 24th at 10:47 a.m. You should have been in school. What manga series do you guys have the most physical volumes of? And do you own a complete manga series? Let's start with Jay on this one, because he has many manga, as you can see behind him.
I do have a lot of manga. So the manga that I have the most of would be Fairy Tail. I have 35 volumes of it, but it's not complete.
Sounds like you need to complete it.
No.
Let's go with most volumes, each of us, and then we'll come back around and go with complete.
Okay.
So how many volumes of Fairy Tail is there? Like how far are you from?
I think there's like 70 something. Like it's something
Never
ridiculous.
Mind.
Abort. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like it's like completing Naruto. Like it just no.
Yeah, too many.
Yeah. Do you have any other big ones?
I think like the next thing that would be closest would be
manga wall.
As I'm like, well, like I have 2 shelves. I have the one behind me, and then I have one like on the other side of the room, of manga. The other one would probably be Noragami at 25.
That's all of that's available, right? So
that's all that's available. Yeah.
That's a great choice too.
Yeah.
What about you, Mike? You've got a big bookshelf.
I don't have as much as Jay. I feel like the ranking in terms, we're going in order of number of terms. We're going in order of number of volumes owned, I would guess here.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of have an advantage to this question because they asked, do you own a complete manga series? And there's something that I'm a big fan of because I am a cheapo. I like buying box sets because they are much cheaper in the long run. And then you pay the big money up front, but you pay like quite a bit less per volume. And then you have the whole thing and you don't have to collect. You can move on to the next thing. So like I have the complete box set of Tokyo Ghoul Re. I've completed, this is not a box set, but the Dorohei Doro. I have all of Dorohei Doro. That's probably my like prized manga one because that's kind of like a tricky one to collect. Actually, it's semi out of print. They recently reprinted it all, and it kind of allowed me to like get it all. And then the other one I have all of is Fruit Basket and the Full Metal Alchemist hardcover books we recently completed as well. Yes, I'm like I've said on the podcast before. I'm the type of person that like once I start something, I have a hard time not finishing it. So like with anime, even if I'm hating a show, I will finish it because I am just a masochist like that.
Spoilers for our review, by the way.
Yeah, spoilers for the review. But yeah, that kind of applies to manga too. Like it bothers me a lot. Oh, actually just a couple weeks ago, Shazane and I completed the Hell's Paradise collection. We have all of that now too.
Oh.
Yes. Now, holy moly.
It's funny. I have a few complete manga collections.
You've come to completion a few times?
A few times. But the one that I have the most volumes of, I had to look.
Okay.
Because I'm like, I have all of the Chainsaw Man volumes that are out. There's only 11 of them.
Too, yes.
But on my shelf here, I have 12 volumes, only 12, of Komi Can't Communicate.
Oh, that's a good amount of it.
Yeah, but like that's the one I have the most of. I don't even really read it anymore.
But I see Akira there too.
Well, no, we'll come back around to complete.
Okay.
Now,
I'm sorry.
Jay, I am dying to know. What manga do you have the complete collections of?
I have the complete collection of Tokyo Ghoul. I actually
Re as well.
Not Re because so I don't really buy physicals anymore from Viz because they have the vault and it's just so convenient. Like for me, I don't buy for the sake of collecting unless I know I'm going to read it. Right. And if I've already read it, it's like, well, what, like there's not really much of a point to me.
And that's also
why I don't have. That's also why I don't have much anime DVDs or anything because like I watch it all on Crunchyroll or High Dive or wherever. So like I don't really need to like waste my money on something that I've already seen. Unless like of course it's something that I'm really really into and then I'll shill. But aside from that, it's just like I'm caught up on a lot of light novels.
Yeah, your light novel collection is
kind
of ridiculous.
Well, you've said to me before too, you feel like you get better value out of buying light novels.
Yeah, I mean, with light novels, you like I can take like maybe 3 hours to read one volume of a light novel, whereas like a manga can take like an hour at most per volume.
Yeah.
I hear you.
I'd say an hour is a good length of time for like a heavy dialogue manga.
Yeah. And like, you know, I'm spending at most or at least like $13 on a volume of manga. Which means like I'd be spending like $13 for an hour of entertainment. And then it just goes away. So like
quick maths.
Yeah. Quick maths.
Yeah.
Mike, you already kind of spoiled your
I didn't understand the assignment, so I already did both parts.
That's okay. We'll now it's my turn.
Yeah.
You can see here I have Akira.
Before you go, I'll just quickly say.
Oh, okay. There's more?
The most volumes I have is Jujutsu Kaisen.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. Sorry, you answered them backwards.
I answered it in reverse.
Okay. I've got Akira. I have A Silent Voice, which is behind Asuka Plush. I've got Knights of Sidonia. Oh, I've got Ghost in the Shell. I've got Evangelion manga. I have all of the released Toradora manga. And all of the released...
3 volumes of Mr. Poon Poon there.
Only 3. I think there's 5 or 7. And I have a cool one. It's the manga version of Princess Mononoke, which is...
Oh, that's a cool one.
Pretty cool. And I'm not going to count like the single... Like I have...
Yeah, like I mean, if we counted that, I also have All You Need Is Kill, which is just 1 volume.
Our next manga review.
Yeah.
It's a little... But yeah, I have lots, but I don't have like lots of a single one.
You have your varied interests over there.
Well, a lot of it's sci-fi.
Yeah. I also realized immediately after saying the most volumes I have is of Jujutsu Kaisen. I realized immediately that Dorohedoro has 3 more volumes than Jujutsu Kaisen has out. So I think the answer is Dorohedoro.
On both parts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a second mailbag question. Michael, I would be so happy if you would read it.
Let me read this one. Opie Master Ash said at 06/06/2023 at 4:57 p.m. Each one of you bring your top waifu and they fight. Who wins? So and then let's just make this simple. That means Misato for Cole.
Okay.
Tessia Aerolith for Jay. And probably Botan for me. And I think this is an easy win for Tessia.
Really? I was going to give it to Botan.
Yeah.
Which...
No.
Are we talking... Mike, are we talking about modern Tess, or are we talking about, like... Because you know now. You know what's going on with Tess right now.
Well, either of them, I feel like, would destroy, honestly.
I don't know who Tess is, so I'm going to say Misato wins, because she's got a gun.
Botan's like an angel, so I don't actually know how that works. Can you kill an angel?
No, that's why I initially
scared to get hurt a lot.
That's why I initially said Botan would win, because she's like...
Yeah, well, Tess like fights like basically gods and stuff. It's kind of weird.
That's
yeah.
Ooh, it's not even anime.
Boo hiss. Yeah, it's not even anime. It should be an anime.
I'd watch it.
It would be good.
Okay, who would be like your top anime waifu then?
I mean, at that point, probably.
Nice, Botan wins.
Yeah.
Then Botan definitely wins. Here's how it works.
That's how I like
Here's how it works. Misato shoots Miku, and then Botan, I don't know what Botan does, hits her over the head with her broom or something. I don't know.
No, she kicks butt, man. She kicks a bunch of zombies' butt in the anime. It's awesome. She's a strong, independent woman.
Well, I will say that canonically, Misato is the only one who dies out of the 3 of these characters, so...
Oof. Well, I guess, is Botan truly alive?
Spoilers.
True.
That's interesting. She's like an afterworld spirit, right?
So does that mean that Miku wins by default?
She's the only
one. Misato canonically dies.
So to answer your question, Opie Master Ash.
Yes.
All of them.
And none
of them. Yes. Should we reveal
we're going to nominate siblings now.
Oh.
Let's nominate our siblings. Is this our first round of siblings?
It is. It is
yes.
indeed. This is for our upcoming tournament. I will reveal when the tournament comes
what they will be doing.
What they'll be doing.
And Jay and I still don't know what they're doing, so this will be fun. Jay, who's your first round of siblings?
Come back to me. I forgot that we were doing this.
Okay. Well, I'm ready to go. You guys go. I'm not sure what this says about me, but when Michael said nominating siblings, these siblings immediately came to my mind, and I don't know. Maybe I should go see a psychiatrist or something about this, because I feel like this says a lot about me.
I'm getting nervous.
I'm going with Karin and Kiyomi Araragi from Monogatari.
That does say things.
That says quite a bit.
I don't know.
I don't know what it says.
I'm not going to delve.
It definitely says something.
I'm not going to delve any deeper into that. I'm going with the Araragis, the eldest Araragis.
Can you type those into the docs, because my spelling is atrocious today.
Later.
I just came up with some on the spot here, so I'll go next.
Okay.
I'm going to go with a dynamic duo. One of these people were featured in our previous tournament.
Oh, okay.
And I'm going to go with Edward and Alphonse Elric as my nominations here.
Okay.
Because you know what? I always like including Full Metal Alchemist characters, because everybody... You know what? let's mess things up a little bit.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with. No, never mind. I was gonna go with the who's the mustache guy and his sister there.
Yeah, the Armstrongs.
But I feel like
Armstrongs,
Ed and Al are funner. So let's stick with that. Ed now. And Jay.
Okay. So I can't think of any other siblings, so I'll have to do my homework for next week. But this week I'll just do Tanjiro and Nezuko because they're the first ones that came to mind.
Nice.
Classic.
Good one. We all know that you love.
Yeah.
Demon
my
Slayer.
God! Like,
yeah, you're rabid for it.
Huge fan.
You're like some kind of demon for it.
Yeah, like I mean, my God, that show is an anime.
Certified anime. Okay, now we're going to reveal the winner.
Yes.
Of the poll for our next review.
What were the candidates again?
Now, the candidates, as nominated by our 3 lovely, beautiful, very handsome co-hosts, were nominated by Jay. Jay?
Grimgar and Fantasy of Ash. I thought you were just going to list them all.
I forgot what yours was called.
Yeah.
Nominated by Michael.
My show was How Heavy Are the Dumbbells That You Lift?
And nominated by me, the most person here. Puella Magi Madoka Magica was my nomination. Now, let's see what we're going to review next after Oddtaxi.
Yes, because that's what we're doing after the break.
That is what we're doing after the break. Okay, so we got votes here. They were tabulated.
I got a drum roll queued up for you, Cole.
They were tabulated based on Twitter, Instagram, and Discord. Come to our Discord.
Oh, did we not calculate YouTube?
And the patrons?
Nope. I didn't know there was YouTube.
I can quickly get it. Hold on.
Okay.
What did you guys think would win while we're stalling for time here?
I thought it would be Madoka Magica. I just feel like that show is probably the more popular of the 3.
I think that was kind of how we felt when we came up with this, right?
Yeah. I remember when we stopped recording that episode, we were unanimously we're probably reviewing Madoka Magica. Even during Icon, I remember we were at the table and Mike was like, I've been telling people that we're going to be reviewing Madoka Magica when it's supposed to be a vote.
Well, it was close. And you may be surprised.
Surprisingly close.
But
oh goodness, I got to do math.
But I don't know what's going to win now.
Maybe say the number of votes, and then Jay, if you can figure out who our patrons voted for, because they just said in the Discord there, and sure. We should have prepared this. This is good.
Yeah. Well, how about we just
say the numbers, and then I'll tell you how many votes to add.
You know what? Oh. I'm pulling an audible. Let's go to an break, and then when we come back from the break, then we'll reveal it, because we're so good at this.
I have the patron votes, by the way.
Well, we will.
Yeah, we're going to
we'll go to an
break and come back after
break.
I'm tired.
Woo-wee. Yeah, well, welcome back to the Anime Protagonist Podcast. We hope you really liked that break, because we
needed it.
We needed it.
Well, we need a break now, but we spent that whole break crunching numbers, because we care about our listeners so much. So much that I forgot to include all of their votes.
Especially the best listeners of all, the ones who support the podcast and help us keep the lights here on in Anipro Studios.
Wow. How's my lighting today, by the way, Mike?
You look. I think you look quite better, actually. I do.
Yeah,
think
you look
this
wonderful, Cole.
Yes.
Thank you.
And it's all because of our lovely patrons that help keep his lights on.
Yes,
that's right. Well, of course, this goes without saying. The winner of this poll will obviously gain points in my point system that I apparently
arbitrary system.
Yeah. For the tiny trophy.
I want the tiny trophy.
I don't care how it works. It's actually not that tiny. Some might even say it's average.
Well, it's a matter of opinion.
It's a serviceable.
Depends how many trophies you've seen, right? Like,
some might even say it's quite large, actually.
Yeah, some might say
it's not the size of your trophy; it's how you use it and how many points you have going.
And how many points? Yeah.
All right. Okay. So I have 3 shows here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And now I will tell you who came in third.
Okay.
With 21.6% of the vote.
Mm-hmm. I'll take my loser trophy now.
Grimgar.
Yeah.
Grimgar.
Okay.
It came in third. Now, I'm just going to tell you who won. Just going to tell you.
Skip second. Okay.
Well, I mean,
if you reveal second, then you reveal first.
Essentially, yeah.
So, the winner with 41.9% of the vote of our listeners, drumroll please, thank you, was Puella Magi Madoka Magica.
We called it when we got picked.
Yeah.
But yes. It was closer than I thought it would be. To be honest, 36.5% of the vote went to dumbbells. How heavy are the dumbbells you lift? But
That's a third.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry.
Especially when I semi-nominated, thinking there's no way this will even come close to competing.
All of them,
even
it was very strange how the votes were spread out.
Every platform was completely flipped. It was strange.
Yeah, YouTube went heavy for Grimgar.
Mm-hmm.
Twitter went heavy for Madoka Magica. Our Discord went heavy for
dumbbells.
It's funny how everywhere was.
Instagram actually went quite heavy on the dumbbells, and then actually friend of the podcast, Spiral Girl, actually made a push, I think, to get a couple extra Madoka Magica votes in there.
Well,
so thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Yes.
I win.
Cole is floating right now. He's literally levitating. Yeah.
I have no arms on my chair, so I can't get comfortable. But my mind is comfortable though. Let's talk about Oddtaxi. This is a show that we reviewed at the request of Michael. We reluctantly reviewed this show after months and months and months of refusing to watch it on principle, because I don't support anything that has to do with anthropomorphic animals at all, ever.
Cole, don't you like D-stars?
Naturally.
I had to watch this because Michael nominated it. As we know, Michael is a furry, as we know.
Yep, it's true.
So now we're going to watch the show.
Mm-hmm.
And
we did watch the show.
We did watch the show.
Oh, yes. You guys?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, you can't. Jay did this bit before. You can't do Jay's bit.
Okay. Jay, what did you think? What did you think that we thought of it?
Well, Cole hasn't seen it, so
yeah, that's true.
I don't know, but I think Mike liked it.
Yeah, and then I would probably say Cole, I'm sure, liked this show just because I think it's one of those shows that you can just say is objectively good. So Cole will probably appreciate that. Now, Jay is a wild card with this one. I truly have no idea what Jay thinks of this show. So I'm just going to go middle of the road and just say he thought it was eh.
I'm going to say Mike liked this show. Mike enjoyed this show. Jay, I'm going to say begrudgingly enjoyed this show.
Why do you say begrudgingly?
Because it's not your type of show.
Yeah.
It's not your type of show.
Okay.
I think that you respected the writing in it, but I think it just wasn't I don't know, you don't strike me as a crime drama type person.
Interesting.
All of the shows Jay really likes too have a strong
waifu
in it too, and there is literally no waifu in this show.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Now, I guess I should explain what the show's even about. So if you haven't heard of this show, it's one of those shows that when you Google or kind of look on AniList or stuff like that, what kind of caught my interest was it got a lot of hype. Not many people watched it because of what Jay and Cole were joking about, the anthropomorphic animal thing. It kind of came out after Beastars and all that, and sort of like I feel like those shows kind of put like a bit of mud in the water for any kind of like anthropomorphic animal shows, and it kind of like made it that.
Hold on. Can you say anthropomorphic?
Anthropomorphic animals. Yes. I don't know. Come up with an easier word for that. Come on, man. Animal people. And like it just made it a little awkward to like. It's always going to be awkward to watch like people or animals that look like people doing people things or whatever. But there was enough hype, and like people whose opinions I respect clearly thought this show was like very good and an underrated masterpiece. Blah blah blah, all that stuff. And it even won a Crunchyroll award. I forget which one at this point. So basically the gist of the show is that Odakawa is a taxi driver, and he is also a walrus. And everyone around him is also animals. And there's basically like, it starts off with a high school girl goes missing, and everybody's trying to figure out where that went. And it's kind of like the B plot that's happening, and like the A plot at first seems to be kind of just like the adventures of Odakawa and all his like taxi drive, like everyone he picks up. And then it's like this kind of like a mystery that unfolds from that point forward. And like Cole and I discussed while we were waiting for Jay today, this show is going to be very heavy on the spoilers, because
I honestly hesitate to say this. Let's just go straight into what did we think of it, give our recommendations, and just dive into spoilers, because it's so hard to talk about this show without talking about spoilers, because what even is the plot? Like, the plot is spoilers.
Well, yeah, we just won't talk about the plot, but I think we should at least,
like, you can't talk about anything without
talk
spoiling
about stuff. Yeah, you can.
Yeah, I think you can.
Yeah, okay, let's try.
I think you just basically, we'll try, and then if we have trouble, we'll just dive into spoilers. But I would say this show, definitely go into it blind. You're going to want to really go for the ride that this show takes you on. The whole point is that you unravel the mystery as it's given to you. And trust me, they give you all the pieces, and then they all come together in the end. And you might not necessarily see where it's going, or there's some things that you will see where it's going, but it is well done and it's worth watching, I would say, for people. To kind of spoil my thoughts. The other thing I would say is, if you like shows, like if you're a Tarantino fan, this show is like very inspired by Tarantino, and it's interesting because it feels almost not very anime-y, if that makes sense. It almost feels like a live action show that they just like made an anime for or something. And actually there was like a theory when it was coming out that like people thought it was gonna, like, the big twist at the end was that it was gonna be like a live action show, and that it was the whole time, and blah blah blah. But yeah, again, like Cole said, we're talking spoilers at this point. But what did you guys think of it?
Cole, go first.
Okay. I really enjoy this show. It was very good. It was very well written. It suffers from the same thing that happens with like Tarantino movies, where the world is so small. Everything revolves around like a handful of characters, and they all of their plot lines interweave, and they all end up bumping into each other and stuff like that, which is, I think if you're going into something as like a realistic murder mystery type thing, it's not that. It's just a really well-written story. Very tight. There's no loose ends at the end. It's satisfying. Yeah, it was very, very good.
Yeah. It does a good job of taking all the, like you said, all the loose threads and stuff like that. Like Chekhov's gun or whatever, right? Like where if it shows you something, it's supposed to do something. And literally everything in this is almost like obsessively like dealt with.
Yeah.
Very, very well crafted. Jay, what did you think? The real mystery one here.
Can we get a drum roll? I feel like this.
Oh, okay.
Let's play up to the mystique of my opinion. Okay.
That was the wrong drum roll.
Well,
this is drum.
I really like this show.
Okay. There is a god.
No, I think it was a really tightly written show. I really liked I really liked how like everything felt like it mattered and it made sense. I liked all the characters. I thought that they were all interesting. I think that there was like one set of characters that was like a little bit off to the side of everyone else, but like it still felt like all tight and well put together.
What did you think which characters are you talking about?
The comedy duo.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I get that.
It was like
they were kind of
they're like the
least impactful.
Yeah, like it was a little bit off to the side. Like there still was some connection to the main plot with them, but like out of everyone in the ensemble, it was them that would probably be the least impactful.
Mm-hmm. I appreciated the visuals in this show too. Like there's some spoiler stuff you can talk about, but like the way that the world looks is very unique. And even down to like that detail, like the way everything appears is even like a important thing to pay attention to. And you're like, wow, that's neat that they actually thought about that deeply.
And with the writing, I really liked the little detail, like I like the foreshadowing that was in this show.
Yes.
There's a line that said like right at the beginning, that like I went back to and I was like, oh my God, that was absolutely intentional.
Oh, for sure.
And I'll get into what I mean by that in the spoiler section, but like, I think that like the foreshadowing in the show, there's like a picture that was taken at the beginning of the show, and like you look in the background, you see something, and then like it comes up, and like it was there. So like there's a lot of little details that like if you just look around, you'll see them and you'll notice them.
It's just a very well written crime. Story.
Well-written crime drama with like...
If you pay attention, you can solve the mystery.
Oh, yes. It's all there for you. It's all there for you.
There's no like twists that just come out of nowhere. Like everything's there. And
which there's no Deus Ex Machina stuff or anything, right? Like
no. Like it has good red herrings too, I think. Like,
yes, it does.
There are some things that happen that made me go like, I think it's this, and then like there's a little bit more that it drip feeds you, and then you're like, oh no, it's definitely this, and then you'll slowly be led into the right direction. But like as like just a bit of a cop out here, I'd say like probably like the first episode or two we're free to talk about. Like up until like the second half where things really start like all the pieces start getting together, I feel like it's not really very spoilery, if that makes sense. I feel like the first 3 episodes really for like
it's just basically set up.
It's basically like Odokawa's picking up various people in his taxi, and like we're getting to meet and see the dynamic between all those different characters and how they kind of impact that kidnapping thing.
And like, Odokawa is like a suspect. They're kind of suspecting him. He picked up the girl who was kidnapped.
Like several characters throughout the show are kind of like, I don't think you did it, but I think there's like a 5% chance that you did it.
Like
he's not necessarily like a trustworthy guy.
And I mean, like there's also that locked box, like that James Gunn lockbox scenario that kind of makes you like question whether it actually is, along with other things that are introduced to make you question whether he's actually
to be trusted.
And
he's talking to somebody in his apartment, and it
does a great job of like just making you think, man, I need to know what's going on there. Like Cole said, it's all there.
It also does this thing that like feels like a true crime, like that like true crime drama where like you go into the psyche of the killer, if you know what I mean, and it makes you like think like he's this is absolutely it.
The thing I always appreciate in shows is when they like to, when things ride the morally gray line. Like I thought the characters in this show, which it's crazy to say that they're not the best part of the show when they're all so fantastic. Like the characters in this show all have like clear established like motivations and like aspirations. You understand why they're doing what they're doing and what they're basically trying to do, right?
For sure.
And like, what was I gonna go with this? I forget. Like even like the little like the brothers, like the police brothers, like you kind of get what's going on there. and like things do get resolved. Like there's some things that kind of don't make sense, and then it eventually will get resolved. And one thing I thought was really cool, and like don't watch this until you've watched the show, but like Mother's Basement did a what's in an OP for this. I know you guys are also fond of the Mother's Basement, and it is fantastic. Like it's amazing. He actually said it's like one of the best OPs of all time in terms of like all the stuff that it shows and like reveals. And I would highly recommend that. I'll link it in the YouTube cards or whatever here at this point.
What a great segue to discuss the OP.
Yes, that was the
I like this OP for just how like different it is. You know, it's so mellow.
I love how mellow it is. I love how aesthetically pleasing it is, and like also I love those like little details that are put into it that like really feels like it represents the show and tells the story of the show.
Yeah, it really does.
I'm not gonna go too deep into it, but like it really does encapsulate Oddtaxi as a whole.
All of the different like character beats in the OP like tell their motivations. Tell their story. Yeah.
Like you could watch the OP and get like a good idea of like what this show's about, I feel. Which is impressive, right? What do you guys think of the song?
Well, the song was good.
I thought the song was fine. Like I probably wouldn't listen to it as just like in a vacuum, but it fit the tone and the vibe of the show. Which
I could listen to the song in a vacuum in certain situations. Like if you're just like chilling, you know, you're just like vibing. It's vibey.
It is, yeah, that's a good word for it. Vibey. Like it's like a nice like J R&B song. It's sweet. I actually watched. There's a first take of this song, which is quite good as well. Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, I think it came out to promote either the show or the whatchamacallit, the movie. Which, by the way, we were all misled. The movie is just a recap movie, and it's not, from what I gathered, not a very good recap movie.
Spoilers, I watched the end of the movie. So as I was fast forwarding through it, they did add a few things in there.
Did they?
They did some like talking head segments with the different characters, you could tell.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's just a compilation movie.
The movie does add like a little bit onto the end.
Yes, that was the big bit.
That you may want to check out if you're interested in a bit more in how the ending plays out. But I will say the ending is left a little bit ambiguous.
Well, yeah.
It's not. And we'll talk about that in spoilers.
Yeah. ED though. ED was a bop.
Love the ED. I love
the visuals were fantastic. The ED was so good. The song was amazing. You know what's like a crazy thing about the song? So you never asked me the trademark question, Cole.
Sub or dub?
I watched it dubbed, and it was great. It was a fantastic dub. And then at one point, because I was watching it, I noticed the subtitles that I have for the song didn't quite match what the singer was singing.
And wait, they dubbed over the song too?
Right. So
at the end?
So here's the weird thing. It is the same song. With like basically a few Englishish or like not quite English but Englishy words changed. It's strange. Like you wouldn't realize if you just heard it. It for all intents and purposes is the same song, but like I don't know. It wasn't bad. It was just like a strange choice to make, to go like not even like a quarter of a remake of like it's like they just remade like a quarter of the song.
I'll have to go back and listen to it.
Yeah, it's just strange. I don't know why I felt like bringing that up, but it was just like I thought it was a weird choice.
I thought the voice acting in this was really good. Like the main character was kind of so deadpan.
I also really like the character designs. Like there's a whole thing about how the character designs need to be really intricate into the story, and like it actually like shows through the character desigins. So
yeah, I thought the character designs were great too.
Yeah,
because they all like are memorable, and you can like I say who's the monkey guy, that he's the bad guy there, and then you like instantly picture his face. Dobu.
Yeah.
Dobu.
Yeah. Names are not particularly interesting, and the one thing I thought too with the main character there, Odakawa, is because he's kind of deadpan and a little boring and kind of like just like he's like a dude who's just clearly does not care anymore. He's just like, I just want to drive my taxi. Yeah, I just want to drive my taxi, leave me alone. I make more than enough. I don't need all this. I'm fine. Just leave me alone. Let me do my thing. And like it does the way that they tackle making it not boring, because like that could very easily be boring to watch. A character who's basically just like, I don't care about any of this, is by basically having all this stuff happen around him. And then he just gets like sucked into the vortex of like the intrigue. Like they suspect him of the murder and there's all this other stuff happening. It's very, very good. It's again, Tarantino-y is almost.
He reminds me of like, if there was a live action of this, he'd be like Bruce Willis or something, you know,
where he doesn't necessarily like want to do any of it, but it kind of, he's just like, I have to, you know what I mean?
He's just kind of thrown into it.
Is there anything you guys would change about this show? Because so far we've been kind of gushing about it. I just want to know if there's anything you guys didn't quite like.
Well, I kind of touched on it a little bit and how the world is too small. There is a lot of like contrivances, like convenient plot points in it. Like somebody shows up at just the right time to save somebody else, and it's like, why? How are they there?
I think that's something that's hard to avoid with a story like this.
Yeah, I think like it's more like that needed to happen for the and like I'm not saying that you're wrong to nitpick it. It's just like it just kind of needed to happen.
It's
a necessary evil
with a story like this. Everything is revolving around these characters anyway, so like that doesn't really bother me as much. I mean, I would have liked like there to have been something to specify why so and so was there, like show the other character sending a text or something.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that seemed very convenient, and then sometimes it did show you like literally what you said, like a character sending a text, and that explains, instead of just having like a character show up at a crucial moment and do something, it shows one of the characters saying, "Hey, come here at this time."
Yeah, there's just one glaringly specific scene that I'll call attention to when we go into spoilers.
I think I know which one you're talking about, Cole.
Where it was just like, what? Yeah. What is happening?
Yeah.
The cool thing that I liked about this show too is the dialogue is like, again, as a Tarantino fan, it's like the perfect version of dialogue that you wish you could do, but like doesn't actually happen. Like the weird thing, like when he talks to the doctor there and he's like, yeah, it kind of came unexpected. Like when, what's his name came into the World Vision song or whatever, or Bruce Springsteen in the World Vision.
Yeah.
See, here's my question about that, because that's kind of a semi-famous scene in the show when they're going back and forth saying Bruce Springsteen. How do they say it in the dub? Do they just say Bruce Springsteen over and over again?
Yeah.
Because they're like, you just want to keep saying Bruce Springsteen. Say Bruce Springsteen 5 times fast. And like in English, you can just say Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah.
It's hard to say in Japanese.
Oh, okay. They didn't do that in the dub.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to. Yeah. In and of itself, though, that's, I mean, not to go off on a tangent about dubs versus subs. I'm interested in how they like resolve stuff like that.
It's cool.
Like, say Bruce Springsteen 5 times fast.
Yeah, because it's not really a tongue twister for us. Yeah. This is gonna be a hot take. I feel like it, but I support localization of things that don't really make sense or translate like that. Like you capture the spirit of the conversation, and they don't have to necessarily say the same thing.
No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like I'm interested in how localizations can be done to make it make sense.
Yes,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I think this one would be worth, Cole, if you are so inclined. It's honestly a really good dub. It fits everything, and again with like having the setting almost isn't very Japanese, so like the
this
dub
could take place
works.
In
really any city,
like noir, New York kind of thing. LA noir type.
Yeah, it's kind of noir-y too. Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. I forgot what I was going to say. Somebody else talk.
How many episodes would you say someone should check this out before they drop? And should they binge it or not?
5.
5?
5 and binge it. Go for it.
I think it's a great show to binge.
Yeah, no, this is a great binge show.
And it's easy to binge because it's got so many good cliffhangers at the end of the episodes where you're like, next. Yeah, it's definitely modern television. Like, it's definitely modern Netflix.
For sure. Yeah.
Like, you watch Stranger Things, you get to the end of the episode and you're like, next, let's go.
Yeah, all three of us watched this within 24 hours, I think. Like when you started it, you finished it within 24 hours because it's like you said, it's when it always ends on something you're like, yes, I need the next episode now. Give it to me. Yes. And I will say, if you're not feeling it, episode 4 or 5 is probably where I'd say like it starts to really resolve into things.
Here's the thing. This is very much like Steins Gate, where you almost need 6 episodes.
I was almost going to say,
like 5 episodes. If you're not feeling it, okay, I get it. But like on that 6th episode, that's when it's like, oh, now we're moving. Yeah. Now we're moving along and things are coming together and the whole intricacies of the plots are getting tied
It's like
together.
A juggler, right? Like you need to wait for all the balls to be in the air for him to really land the impressive trick, right?
Ooh, very good.
Which is kind of like what this show really is. And it takes a little bit of setup, and I was actually getting a little worried before I got to like the midway point of the show. I was like, this is just good. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And then just the way it resolves, it just takes it up to another level. Jay, I think you said 5 episodes as well.
Yeah, I'd say probably around like 5 or 6. Like, honestly, I think
watch
like,
the whole thing. Just watch it.
Yes, all of it.
Just watch it. Honestly,
just watch the show.
Just watch it.
I mean,
just
like,
watch the show.
Honestly, like it feels like such an easy watch that like
that's
I feel like if you are by like episode 4 and you're just like I can't, then like I don't think that there's anything that's going to be introduced into the story to keep pushing you through. Because like by episode like 4-ish, basically like all the groundwork's been laid, and the rest is just kind of like building on top of it.
Whatever episode it reveal is the episode with the gamer dude who's searching for the dodo.
Right.
That's when I think it really takes off. So if you
that's
get to whatever episode that is,
that's introduced. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then everything starts all coalescing and the story actually like kicks off. Yeah. So I'd say at least get to like that point, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, okay, I get this.
Yeah, I think that was like episode 5 or 6 or something like that.
I will say, just as a parting, because I think we're going to go into our recommendations and whatnot right away. Mm-hmm. If you're like me and you don't care about spoilers, stop. Don't spoil this for yourself.
Yes, I agree. 100%.
It's worth not watching, it's worth watching without spoilers. You feel rewarded if you guess plot points correctly. You feel good.
It's almost like that's part of it, honestly. Is like it's actually like a mystery that you're trying to unravel as well.
Mm-hmm. It's like a Sherlock Holmes novel.
So I do agree. I think that this show is best watched blind. Mm-hmm. But if you go back, if you do happen to spoil
also
yourself,
rewatchable.
It's super rewatchable to go back and like see all the little like things you didn't notice before now that you know. Mm-hmm. Which is the mark of a good mystery, you know, like if you're able to pinpoint all those little details that are put in now that you know everything.
A good mystery has 2 watches. The initial watch where everything's revealed and you get that catharsis from it, and then the rewatch where you're
looking for the foreshadowing.
Piece everything together, and your mind is just blown.
I'm reminded of like Shutter Island or something like that, right?
Shutter Island or that one with Kevin Spacey. I can't think of what it's called. Yeah, you know the one.
You know what we're talking about.
That said, and I think we're just about to go into spoilers. I got spoiled on this show.
Oh no!
I actually didn't get spoiled.
So I didn't get the catharsis that I think you two did. Mm. I knew what was going on. I knew what was happening. So like I got that like second watch experience of like being able to look.
It's pretty, for what it's worth, Jay. I'm sure Cole had as well because he's a genius of a man.
Stop here.
Why?
Because let's talk about that in spoilers. Because I don't want to talk about that.
Do you guys want to talk anything about the characters and stuff like that and animation before we go there?
Well, I think the show is carried by its characters, like all of the different quirky characters and their different like personalities and they're clashing.
And like how they're all intertwined together. Like, I remember while I was watching the show, I like pictured myself as Charlie Day from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yes.
Trying to piece everything together, being like, because like that's just how everything is like so tightly woven together. That you can do that.
They're all like we kind of alluded to, they're all so interesting on their own that they kind of carry, like there's a whole episodes where like you don't see anything really but one character, and like it's enough to carry you through, and it like reveals enough about them that carries them the rest of the story. Like, and there's also characters that really don't get a lot of the time in the spotlight, but they're just so interesting on their own, like that rapping guy. I forget his name. Yano. And and he's just so interesting on his own, right? And like
and important.
And every character in this show is, I'd argue that there's not really an unimportant character in this show.
No. It's
or an unimportant scene, honestly. Like, every scene means something.
You watch a show like this and you're like, it'd be nice if they like trimmed some of the fat. There is no fat here to be trimmed. It's such a tight. Not. Like, I don't know how they'd make I don't know how they did the movie. I don't know how.
I hear it's not great for that reason, because the pacing's off. Like the pacing is perfect in this anime,
for
and
sure.
You just couldn't. I don't think you could.
I do kind of agree with Cole that like the world does feel a little bit small. Like there are some times where like I'm watching the show and I'm like, why are these the only characters at this place in this specific time? Where is everybody else?
Yeah, like every time they showed
the characters introduced are like connected.
Yeah.
Which I mean, I guess that's part of the story. They wouldn't be in the story if they weren't part of the story. Okay, yeah.
But like, I mean, like you could have some extras or something like be there, but like it just, I don't know.
Another thing too. Oh, did you have more to say, Jay?
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, one last thing before we kind of head into spoilers. I guess I'll say my like last little thoughts here. I always really appreciate a show too where it teaches you things along the way and makes you ask questions about yourself and the world around you. And that's what this show kind of does, while being a compelling like mystery. I don't want to say it's a murder mystery, because it's kind of really not. It's more of just a mystery in general.
Just it's like a puzzle drama.
Yeah, it's very.
I'd say it's a crime drama.
Yeah, like there was one scene there where like one of the characters is talking to another, and he's like, "You listen." Your extreme hatred of yourself is narcissism, because normal people don't think about themselves that much. And I actually like kind of paused it for a second when he said that, and I thought about it. I'm like, wow, that's like a really like deep and powerful thought to have.
Yeah.
And it's just like basically like a throwaway line that just like resolves like one part of the show, right? Like
one little thread, yeah.
Yeah. And like when a show can just take like little things and just every single thing has meaning and makes you think about the world and yourself and like just existence, and has like deeply philosophical. That's impressive.
Yeah, and the delivery of it, like who delivers that line? It's like one of the heaviest lines in it, and it's like from the last character you'd expect to say something like that.
Yeah. And then it's just it's
it keeps you on your toes. The show is a edge of your seat mystery.
Yep. I forget what we decided at the end of the last review. Are we rating and stuff before the spoilers or no?
We will rate before. Yeah, that's how the list goes. Ending thoughts and rating, and then we'll go into spoilers.
So that way, and I guess we're revealing, or we already did reveal at the beginning of the thing. But yeah, what are your guys' last little? What do you guys want to talk about before we dive into spoilies and stuff?
If you're on the fence about watching this and you're kind of second guessing the whole anthropomorphic thing, you watch Beastars and you didn't really jive with that, watch this. If you're on the fence, just watch it. Just throw on episode 1 and say goodbye to 4 hours.
Yeah,
because
it's interesting because you almost forget that they're animals midway through.
You do.
It's weird. It's weird how it works. Once you get past the little weird art style and like the anthropomorphic characters, it's great. It's a great show.
Protagonist, easy.
Yeah, I won't even beat around the bush either. It's clearly a protagonist. I couldn't in any conscience give it anything else. Yeah. What are your ending thoughts, Mr. Joseph?
Yeah, I I feel like I was deceived on this show a little bit, and I think that's kind of the point.
Yeah, I want to get into that a little bit too.
Yes.
Yeah, keep going though.
When I went into the show, I thought it was going to be something akin to like Zootopia, where it was just like a world of animals, and then it was going to explore that world and kind of like reflect our own world onto like this fantastical world of animals and that kind of thing.
That's kind of what I expected to coming in.
But it's very, very different from that, and the psychology and the philosophy of it, as well as the drama and everything around that, was very compelling, very interesting. And you know, if you like interesting characters, interesting dramas, and things like that, definitely check this out. It's a very, very interesting show. I will say I don't think that there was, and this is like a personal enjoyment thing, I don't think there was anything that like bumped it up to like a masterpiece for me. But like, again, that's like a personal enjoyment thing.
Yeah. There's one scene
it is still very good.
Yeah. Just kind of like jumping off what you're saying. There's one scene towards the end that personally bumped it into like the masterpiece for me, I think. But we'll get there right away.
Yeah, and I just want to say this before Jay gives his rating.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like the whole advertising campaign for this show.
What was the advertising campaign?
Like it was like they advertised too much of it like being this quirky show about animals, when the animal aspect of it is so secondary. That's just like
it's almost not even like
it's not important.
It is addressed. It does matter.
Yeah,
it's just like it's.
But like for the balance of the show, like it's such a B plot. Like yeah.
I just remember like when the trailer came out for Oddtaxi. I think it came out during the Crunchyroll Awards, and I was just like, what? That's so. It's got this weird name. It's got this weird art style. Silly. It looked goofy, and then it came out, and it was like, oh, apparently it's really good. I'm not watching it.
Yeah, exactly.
And I did, and it was really good.
And we forced you. Yeah. I think it also came out at like probably the worst possible time to be a goofy looking show about like anthropomorphic characters. So it came off the heels of like BNA and B-Stars. Yeah. And people kind of just like had enough of that at that point.
BNA and B-Stars are good though.
They're good though, but it's just like, I don't know.
Good shows.
Yeah.
Okay, Jay, your rating, and then we forgot about recommendations.
Yeah. So, I guess we're gonna go into recommendations in a little bit, but I would say like a lower end protagonist than my two co-hosts are giving, but that's mainly based on my own personal,
which like we kind of
enjoyment.
I think we alluded to that, like this is maybe not exactly like straight up your alley, but I'm glad to hear that you enjoyed it.
I really did enjoy it, and like the fact that I gave it a protagonist obviously reflects that. I think it's just like it, like I don't know what it was, and I like I'm not sure, but like I feel like there was I just felt like there was one little thing missing that like really bumped it up to like a level of excellence.
An elf girl.
A waifu, yeah.
An elf girl.
No, it had a good waifu in it.
Yeah, it did. Yeah. I liked the alpaca girl.
The alpaca girl. I thought you were talking about the idol.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
I mean, and the idols, sure.
Yeah. But who would you guys recommend?
What are we recommending this to?
Yeah. The obvious one is like Tarantino fans.
Yeah, Tarantino movies.
And if you like a Shutter Island or like a psychological show, this show earns the psychological tag. Like if you like a mystery where you're thinking about yourself, what's happening, and the world that you're watching, this is your bread and butter. You're gonna like this.
Yeah. I would. It's funny, we mentioned B-Stars and BNA, and maybe if you weren't really into them, you might not like this. I would say BNA, though. Like, if you watch BNA and you want something with a bit more bite to it, more maturity, I'd recommend this. It doesn't have that trigger aspect to it. It's not.
It's a very mature show.
Yeah, it's definitely
not like mature in the way, like it's not like
there's no nudity or anything like that.
Yeah, no, it's not. It doesn't have that like mature physical subject matter, just like the psychological subject matter.
Yeah, like I don't think I would enjoy this show at all as like a 14-year-old, if that makes sense.
No. You need that. You need that like world wariness. I think a little bit.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you kind of have to like identify with like Odokawa's. Like, I don't care. Like this, how the aliens got announced, and people are like, "Do I still have to go to work tomorrow?" Yeah. Okay, I don't care.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. We should have talked about that in the first half. The aliens.
Oh yeah, that's what's on our mind. Yeah. The aliens are real.
I guess for me, I have like two different sides of the coin that I wanted to address for people who are kind of on the fence. If you're a fan of that like interconnected world like Bakano or Durarara, I think you'd be interested because it has like that interconnected world where like all the characters are weaved in together to like interact with each other. And then the other one would be something like Monster. I think if you're interested in like that kind of like crime drama of Monster and the psychological aspect of that, definitely give this a shot.
Yeah. Well, Jay, you know what you're talking about because on AniList, the top two recommendations are Durarara and Bakano. And you're absolutely right that those shows, if you like those, you'll definitely like this as well. It kind of unfolds the same way in a weird way, but not quite.
Yeah. We should honestly review Bakano at some point. I really want to get you guys to watch it.
Yeah.
All right.
I hear it's an all-time dub.
All right.
It's time.
Spoiler warning.
Are we going to lose our minds again?
It's time for spoilers.
So, like we said, if you haven't watch this show, we highly recommend you.
In fact, second spoiler drop. Seriously.
For spoilers.
Listen, Cole and Jay are like certified like people who I don't think care about spoilers, and if they're telling you go into this one not knowing the spoilers,
if I'm hesitant to even do this review without a spoiler tag over the whole thing, stop.
Yeah.
What are you doing with yourself?
Evaluate what's happening here.
Yeah.
Because spoilies. I called it, though. I called it at the beginning of the show. We're in spoilers now, right?
We're in spoilers.
So first of all, Cole, which one did you call? There are a lot of things here.
Yeah, there's a lot of things to call.
I went to Mike's place yesterday for a barbecue. And I said, Mike finished it, and he's like, you gotta finish the last 4 episodes. I said, okay, I'm just gonna throw this off of you, and I'm gonna judge it based on your reaction. And I didn't know this was happening. This was off the dome. I'm like, Michael, none of these characters are actually animals, and the main character just sees them all as animals. And he looked at me dead in the eye. No facial expression, which didn't really tell me anything, but I called it. I knew it.
Yeah,
because
there's enough hints there.
There's a throwaway line. Well, and later on, but it was the line when he's in the doctor's office, and the doctor's like, how do you see me? And he's like, a gorilla, and they all laugh.
Yeah,
and I'm like, that's suspicious. That's suspicious.
Well, so there were a couple things that, like, I mean, I said it in the spoiler-free thing. I was spoiled on that. I found out that he saw them as people.
Oh, it's so interesting.
They were all people. But yeah. But the thing that like was really interesting to me is like at the very beginning of the show, there's like a throwaway line between the cats or between the police officers, and they're like, "Don't trust the taxi driver." Yeah. And like from that, I was like, that absolutely was intentional to mean like there's something off about him, something off about like, and I think that was alluding to both.
He can't even trust himself because he doesn't see things properly.
Both the fact that like he doesn't see things properly, but also kind of like to play that red herring that he was housing the kidnapped girl. So it was kind of like good. That double thing.
It's crazy. Like we talked about how well this show's written, but like that one line tells you that guy doesn't trust taxi drivers, not just Odokawa. He doesn't trust taxi drivers. And then they address that later in the show when they talk about that a taxi driver killed his parents.
Yeah.
Then it also tells you Odokawa's not exactly all right. He's not trustworthy.
Yeah.
And then it also red herrings you into thinking that there's a girl in his closet. That's crazy. One line. does all that.
There were a lot of lines like the one where Cole was like, what do I look like to you? A gorilla. Yeah. There was like when he was in the taxi with the producer guy, and he's like, she was a calico cat, and he was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. But that was even after like where he's talking about how he can recognize people, and he says, I don't know how you all can't just tell who people are, because he sees them all as animals, distinct, different animals,
and which is great because it like helps out the show too, because they're all, if these were just like regular people, like at the end when they reveal their regular faces and stuff, they're not as memorable. Whereas like having these dynamic casts of these interesting like animals actually like really helps you like understand engaged.
Why. The other thing that really like that was like a good hint toward the fact that they were humans. The comedy duo is called the Homo sapiens, which is people. That was
a nice little like also red herring too, because it kind of is like, wow, would they call themselves the Homo sapiens if they were just like non-animals?
Yeah.
Would a human call themselves that? No. There was also one point too, I think it was towards the end when this is like kind of like really put in my brain like he's just seeing things weird, or there's something else going on here. It was something about someone mentioned humans at some point. I kind of, I don't know if it was maybe just a dub thing, but it kind of like opened my ears a little bit to it.
And then also like in the OP, the cat is like right at the beginning, you see like a black cat, which is the cat that he housed. But like
that was such a twist for me. I don't know if it was a twist, but like when he finally revealed that no, it was a cat all along, and he just wasn't sure
if it was
actually a cat.
Yeah,
that was like such a crazy moment for me. And like the moment where like he opened his eyes in the hospital bed and they're all people, I like this is gonna be like maybe a little dramatic, but like I got a little misty eyed. I was like, no way, this is crazy. And then that was one moment that amplified it, Jay, when you said you didn't have any moments that amplified it. And then the moment where literally every storyline that the thing set up all came together to resemble something dunked in the water or getting dunked into a liquid. And it's
then they were all there.
And they're all there and they're all watching it. That was a powerful moment for me too.
That didn't bother me as much as now I can specify what I was talking about with the character showing up at like
Is it when he was saved from being strangled?
Yes.
Yeah.
They were in the middle of like a construction zone.
Yeah, that was a little strange.
Yeah. And like, what was she doing throws there? A rock through the window. Yeah, what was she doing there? What was
I think the nurse she must be a little stalkery, because I actually kind of think you guys watched the movie, right? Like the ending.
I just watched the ending to the movie. Yeah.
Because it's like the world's biggest cliffhanger, and when you find out that there is a resolution, you're like, I have to know what happens.
Yeah. Okay. I want to say that because Jay said it's left ambiguous.
Yeah, because like
I'm assuming you're talking about like it ends with the car shaking,
and then it stops. So like it could be taken either that she killed him, and like the flashback to the date is him seeing like one of the important things in his life was going.
Did
you
on watch the credits?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say too. Because if you watch the pictures in the credits, there's one that shows her face. It's a newspaper headline, and it's attempted murder.
Yeah, she got arrested.
She got arrested because he fought her off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
Which makes sense because he's like a full-grown man and she's a little child.
Yeah. I didn't realize that they were like children. Like
well, she's 18, isn't she?
No, the one is like the leader of the group is
the one that it makes you the white-haired one that you think is the killer. Yeah.
No, the one that that the guy went on a date like that was like going on dates with.
Okay,
she was
also
they were
in college.
Right.
Yeah, they were in college. Yeah. They look younger when they're like in their human form.
Yeah. Like she had like her pigtails and that, so like she did look younger.
And I just I forget what
great show. The ending, like when you finish this show, how quickly did you run to the movie for the answer? Because it ends
immediately.
Yeah.
If you didn't heed our advice and you're listening to this with the not knowing what happens, it ends with like literally the main character's about to be killed. And
the killer is revealed. The killer is revealed in the last 10 seconds of the show.
In the last the very end of the show, And
which is crazy because you don't expect it at all at that point. You're like, I guess we're just ending without knowing. And then
so like it ends. She gets in the taxi to kill Odakawa to try and clear up all loose ends, so she could never be suspected of murder. And she pulls out a knife, and that's the end of the show.
Which is crazy too, because like when she's walking up to the taxi, she's talking to her mom on the phone about how she killed the other girl and how she's going to kill him. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
What is happening here?
Crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah. The thing I did love, by the way, I did mention earlier in the review that like it had like that like true crime thing where like it goes into the psychology of the killer, and like that like thing where the doctor was like trying to figure out Odakawa's background. That to me felt like a big red herring that like he's actually the killer, and like he's trying to get like his psychology and like going into the psychology of like how he's like a like why his life's so bad and how he became a killer and all that, which like is not the case, but like it felt like it was trying to lead you down that path of like, okay, his life was terrible. So like he grew up and like became someone who would kidnap.
I just want to address that there is no way we can talk about every plot point in this show.
No, there's just no way.
No.
There's a lot of things that we're not talking about in this show, even in the.
I don't think there's any point to really talk about all the plot points.
Yeah,
this is more just so we can vent a little bit.
If we were to talk about every plot point, we'd be here all day.
Yeah, like we haven't even talked about like the main plot point, the whole Odakawa and Dobu. Like we haven't even talked about that because the ending is so like impactful. It's insane.
Yeah,
the one loose end of the show, and you're like, okay, I'll just let it go.
Yeah, you're like, I'll give it the benefit of the doubt.
At the end, like the end of the show.
Yeah, it was. You know what? It was actually just like the world's most incredible sell job for the movie. I'm pretty sure. Because like realistic, you know what I mean? Like,
find out what happens in the credits of the movie.
Yeah,
I hope you watched them.
Yeah,
Jay.
No, I didn't watch the credits because I thought the point was it was supposed to be ambiguous. So I was like, okay.
I was kind of doing the thing where you like look at the occasional like one of the pictures in the credits in the slideshow, and then I saw the one with the headline of like arrested on murder attempt or whatever, and I'm like, oh, I guess I have to like pay attention to these now.
Rewind. I'll rewatch them.
I rewound a few times.
And there's this one section of photos where he draws everybody's like animal forms and gives them to them.
Yes. Oh, that was a sweet moment.
Yeah, that
was nice. Yeah,
I think that was just in the end credits. So Jay, go back and watch the end credits. It's important.
Yeah, I will.
I thought it was. How do you guys think about when they revealed all the people were people and they were showing their human forms? What do you think of their transformations? Like, what do you think of the comparison?
I feel like a few of them. I feel like a few of them. I was like, how the hell would you not realize who he was out of a crowd? Like the Dobu. Like he looks
the same.
How do you like look at him and go like, who are you? Like he's so distinctively him.
Yeah. He barely changed.
Yeah.
That's the cool thing I wanted to mention when Jay said he liked the character designs in this show is like, I liked that I think they started with the characters and then maybe designed the animals. Like they had an animal in mind and then designed them like at the same time or after.
I think they
designed clearly very well thought out.
I think they designed the animal designs first and then probably went like, okay, we probably need to figure out how would they look like. How would he possibly see them as this animal?
Yeah. The only one I thought that was kind of weird was like their manager. He didn't really look like a
And honestly, the nurse.
Yeah,
like
the nurse
was like a white alpaca and then she turns into like a black-haired
just normal Japanese
person.
girl.
Yeah, with blue eyes.
Yeah.
She was best.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I guess we should reveal. We forgot to reveal that in the first part there.
Honestly, for the alpaca thing, I thought it was just like the idea was they were supposed to like accentuate the fact that she's pretty and that I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
How'd you guys feel? I'm curious because Dobu for me was probably the most like one of the more interesting characters in the thing because he was very like he's not a good guy.
Yeah,
but he has like morals in a weird way. Like he has like a code of honor and he like he helps people out while also being like a piece of crap at the same time, and it's very interesting.
It's very gray. Like the characters in this are so gray. Everybody, same like the cops are evil, kind of, and the criminals have like their code of ethics. Yeah, it's
The boss like, literally like says like your one rule is you can't kill people.
And like the cop is corrupt because the boss of Dobu and Yato or whatever his name is basically like saved them.
Yeah,
like he basically owes his life to him.
He saves people. He saves orphans from car accidents.
Yeah.
So he also saved Odakawa.
Yeah. and the cool thing is they show you that right away, but you don't know it because that they explain at one point that anyone that he saves, when they pay off the debt or whatever, they get that little bird, the bird figure or whatever. And they show it like lots of times because it's hanging on his mirror in Odakawa's taxi, right? And then the other thing I thought was, how would you guys think too when the eraser fell out of Odakawa's pocket?
Oh yeah,
that was a wild moment for me. I actually was like, "Oh, what is happening?"
No, everything is connected.
Everything's all connected.
Yeah. And then just that guy's like, "Are you ditch 11?"
Ditch itchy. Ditchy, itchy.
Yeah.
Ditchy, itchy.
Yeah. I don't know what else we could. We could.
I don't know.
Forever,
we could just sit here and gush.
Yeah,
like, I guess this.
Yeah, I guess. Let's just go into best boy, best girl.
Yeah, let's just roll. Let's just roll.
Yeah. Cole, who was your best boy?
I like Odakawa. I mean, I don't want to be boring. Odakawa or Dobu. Dobu's interesting, I guess.
Which one are you going with?
Odakawa.
Okay.
It's so deadpan. I love it. How he's just like, kill me then. I don't care. Do you actually not care? He's like, no, I'm actually terrified.
Yeah.
No, he's got like that dry sense of humor to him that I love. Like, I love that opening scene with the hippo that he takes in the taxi, and like he asks him a question, he just doesn't answer, and it's like, I actually have 5 responses in my head.
I'm just trying to think what's the least offensive one.
Yeah.
I wanted to just say about the one rule thing. I like that scene where it's dropped and Dobu says to him like, we only have one rule, after threatening like I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah.
And everything, and he's like I have one rule, and he's like, what's that rule? He's like, I can't tell you. Yeah. Because that would just undo his whole like threat against him.
That is one thing that I think was a little bit annoying, was like there were some things that it was like they couldn't say it because then it would reveal a lot of things, but once it was revealed, then they all just started saying it like it was nothing.
Yeah.
Which great show. Great show.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go with the doctor Goriki for my best boy, because he was
him.
He basically like met Odakawa, and then Odakawa, because he's a great boy as well, basically like said, like joked with him and was like, oh no, I remember you, and then like kind of like became friends with him, and then like basically this doctor like went through so much effort to like try to help Odakawa and ended up like
not because he's his doctor,
because his friend,
but because he's his friend.
Yeah.
Great moment.
Odakawa is a close second. He's great.
It's just a good boy.
Especially when they reveal everything, like his whole backstory and his childhood and stuff.
Yeah,
like,
he's
man,
such a sympathetic character. Yeah,
and I like
little
the show.
Poon-poon-esque.
I like that the show had a good ending. It didn't like all blow up in his face. Like everything worked
Endings
out.
Are hard.
Yeah, everything worked out, because I was worried about that. I thought
that was the other thing that kind of like.
He's plotting everything out, and I thought they're gonna.
I thought that was gonna happen too.
That's the thing that kind of felt like another red herring to the fact that he was the perpetrator, was that like he was such a big schemer that like it felt like like I could definitely see him being.
When he finds the GPS thing in it, and he's like, I gotta figure out how I'm gonna use this.
Yeah.
It's like, yes.
There's one point there where I was legitimately thinking like, is he just gonna like it's all gonna be the twist where like he just takes all the money and like disappears? Is that the twist?
Well, he does end up taking like a lot of the money.
Well, he gives it away, but yes,
he got like one of the 10 cases essentially.
Yes,
there was a point where I thought like he was basically playing Dobu, and he's playing both sides of the coin, and he was actually like a bad guy, because it does such a good job of like leading you astray.
Yeah.
Now, Jay, speaking of leading us astray, tell us your best boy.
My best boy. So I mean, I do want to say Odakawa because of how sympathetic of of a character he is, with like his backstory, as well as like everything that he had to go through to get to the point that we see him at the beginning of the story. So yeah, I'm gonna go Odokawa, because I mean, Dobu's the only other character that I would be like, he was probably one of the more interesting ones to me. I did like Goriki. But
all the characters in this are honestly like,
no, they're all
likable in their own way.
Like even the cops, I liked their dynamic. I liked how the idiot turned out to be like one of the heroes of the show, like the little Daimon.
Little Daimon, yeah.
Yeah. I like that like confrontation in his house when like he's like, "You're actually not a bad guy."
You're like, good guy.
Can't you just say like I'm good?
No, you're not evil. Yeah.
You're not evil. Can't you just say I'm good?
No. That's funny. One cool thing I thought too, just to kind of go over those cops again, is like, the comedy duo that were kind of like overshadowed in the show we talked about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
One thing Mother's Basement pointed out to me too is that in the OP, you see the two cops bouncing on the heads of the two entertainers, like the two comedy duo. And he's pointed out that that's because them just existing and being the way they are, they're a better comedy duo than those two could ever be. Like the serious cop and the dumb little brother, like they're hilarious. They're great.
Yeah.
I
didn't get the comedy in this as a comedy duo. They weren't that funny.
They weren't.
No, I didn't like.
Maybe that was the point. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I didn't really get why the giraffe guy was more. I didn't really get what his whole thing was either. They were probably the weakest characters in the show for me, honestly.
Yeah.
I will say I did like. I kind of laughed when the gunman is in the club and he shoots the wall and he's like, "What are?" The other guy comes up. Why did you do that? And he's like, "I thought it'd be funny if he shot me."
Yeah,
that's pretty funny.
That is actually kind of fun.
It's like, okay, he just wanted a story to tell. I thought it'd be funny if he shot me.
Yeah,
great.
Yeah.
Best girl.
This is actually a tricky one. I feel like really the only real answer has to be the llama girl, right?
Yeah, Miho Shirakawa. I will say, I do like Nikaido. She was interesting to me.
Oh, the white cat girl?
Yeah. Was she a cat? I thought she was like a poodle.
Was she?
The leader idol.
The one at the center that wanted to kill the one that died?
Yeah, she was interesting because she went there with the intention of doing the deed, and then somebody else.
It was already done.
It's already done.
Yeah.
And
she'd be probably second, I would say.
For me. But yeah, I like the nurse girl. She was interesting in how her character was like, she was manipulated. She was kind of trapped into doing what she did.
Because of the debt that she had,
Yeah.
And then also just her
and she was just a cinnamon roll. And the whole the martial arts thing.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
Like breaking up
and then the fact that it paid off. When she
again, that's what I was just going to say.
Head.
You think, oh, this is just like a weird moment because it's a weird anime. And then no, it actually ends up being like very important to several parts of the story.
Yeah.
She's like, you thought it was just a dance thing. No, it's fighting.
Yeah.
And then she fights somebody. Yeah. Good.
Just blasts him in the head.
I mean, Mike filled out the spreadsheet already, but
who else do you go? There's really not that many girls in this show, and half of them are killers.
I do think that the owner of the restaurant that they all went to, I liked her.
Or the landlady.
The landlady was also good. But I think Shirakawa was just
enough,
like
right?
Yeah.
The Calico Cat was good. I liked her too.
Yeah, I don't know, like the whole date scene really put me off of her, where she's doing the Badger game or whatever. And it's just like, can't go someone who's literally like conning somebody out of
not a waifu. Money. Not a waifu, but as a character, she was.
I'm just saying.
I do have to say, like, he definitely had that coming.
And he's an idiot. He's a moron.
He's an absolute idiot.
But you know what? He's working his two jobs now.
Yeah.
He's going to get that all straightened out. Everything's good.
That's
and when he's like, are you Odokawa, are you going to pay off your friend's debt with all of this money? He's like, no.
He's like, no.
He did that. He's got to pay for that.
Again, that's just good writing though, because like, if let's just say a hypothetical situation, you have a friend you know is like complete moron with money. Are you paying off their debt?
Please.
No.
Please
no,
pay off my
you
debt.
just know they're going to blow more money on something.
How the hell are they going to learn? How the hell are they going to learn if they just get bailed out?
Yeah, exactly. That's how it works.
I have guitar pedals to buy. Simply pay off my debt.
Well, you know how you can pay off Cole's extreme crushing financial debt for his guitar pedals?
Wow, Michael. Where
by
is my...
supporting us on our lovely little Patreon.
Oh, you're going out of order.
Am I? Oh, okay. Yeah. You do it. I don't know how to do it.
Yeah. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Anime Protagonist Podcast. You can follow us on social media at AniProPod. That's ANIPROPOD. You can follow me at AniProCole. That's ANIPROCOLE. Michael, where can they follow you?
Follow me at Gritty Gundam, GRITTYGUNDAM. Jay, where can they find you?
You can find me at Jay Gardian. That's JayGaredian.
That's right.
Follow us on Patreon.
Follow us in all of these places. Please like, review, subscribe to us. Give us a 5-star rating
Please
now.
do it. Yes.
Go down there,
tell
give
a
us
friend.
a 5-star rating, and tell a friend about us, for the love of God. And for the love of God, please join our Discord. Actually, like, that's probably my favorite thing is when people join the Discord. It's tangible.
Too, actually.
It's tangible.
Yeah.
Second favorite thing, actually. Second favorite thing. My favorite thing is when you join our Patreon.
Ooh, become a patron.
Become a patron and help us out. Make the show better. We'll get better equipment and everything as we move along. Join our Patreon. You get benefits, early
got an
episodes.
extra vote on the review.
You get an extra vote on reviews.
You help decide Madoka Magica.
Bonus episodes once a month for now. And you get a little tag on our Discord to let everybody know that you are the best. Special thanks to our patrons right now, Mr. Family Guy 36, Elijah Wood, Brain Dead B-Dog, Super Mexi, and Peach. Thank you all so much for just being like awesome, terrific.
Yeah, you guys are the real protagonists.
Yeah, we're idiots. You guys are cool.
Yeah,
links to everything's at our website, at anipropod.com. Yeah, that's it. We say as we do at the end of every episode of the Anime Protagonist Podcast, bye-bye.
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 Bye-bye.